What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video about The Division. Today I want to go over the E3 2015 gameplay walkthrough trailer and pick out and highlight some of the features that most of you may have overlooked. It's the finer details that pop up in the bottom of the screen or the edge of the screen, or just little things that you may have overlooked if you got a chance to watch the video. First off, when the video shows up, you'll see that the demo is in the alpha. So remember, all the things that you see here are subject to change or be modified in some way. So basically, it could be different when the final game comes out. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first gameplay we have where you can see the mini-map and the current objectives. All the other videos that we've seen have been basically staged type demos where it's recorded audio over probably recorded gameplay, and a lot of the user interface has been cut away to give it more of a clean, simplistic look. And in this video, this is what you would see if you actually played the game. First off, you'll notice that there are only 3 players in this squad, but don't worry, there will still be 4-player squads. I asked the developers about this and they just said that 3 players was the sweet spot for this demo at E3. One thing you'll notice that's cool about seeing your other squad members is that when they walk behind walls or objects in the world, you can actually see them through it. You'll notice when Megan walks behind this concrete pillar, you'll see that her body turns into a digital image. It's good to know where your teammates are, so I appreciate this and the fact that there are also indicators on the side of your screens telling you in which direction you are. This game is all about team play, so knowing where your team is going to be essential. At first glance though, everything about the UI is clean and sleek looking. You can see in the top right corner your current level. The bottom right gives you your teammates' current skill loadouts, health bar, and their level. Your own heads-up display shows similar information with a few additional things, namely your primary and secondary ammo, grenades, and your health packs. Once the players jump into the dark zone, you'll notice how the UI starts to glitch out, indicating that you are cut off from outside communication. This probably means that there isn't going to be a fast travel option within the dark zone. So once you get in, you'll have to find your own way of getting out. And in some places of the dark zone, if you'll recall, you are jumping in. Like in this demo, once you jump in, you can't jump back out. So you have to find one of these airlocks in order to get back out of the dark zone. There are a few things we see here in this first area of the environment worth discussing, in my opinion. First off, we see this ATM on the right-hand side. Now, in Watch Dogs, you could hack people's bank accounts, then use the ATM to withdraw the money. Being a Ubisoft game, some things could be similar in this one. I don't think you'll be hacking anyone in this game, but it would be interesting to see if you could get money from the ATMs by some other means, by breaking them open, who knows. The only issues I can see with this not working is if the money inside is contaminated, because no one wants contaminated money. But if I'm being truthful with myself, I really don't think you're going to be breaking into ATMs. The second point of interest is the road sign on the right. It says, "Quarantine. Martial law is in effect. Report all suspected cases of infection. Do not attempt to leave the premises. Deadly force authorized." This gives you a glimpse into just how grim this world is. People are dying left and right from this disease, and the government is trying to control it, even by means of deadly force. When they get closer to the dark zone entrance, UI indicators also show that the surrounding objects are in fact contaminated. And once inside, Ryan Bernard tells us that the whole place is highly contaminated.
This area is highly contaminated, so we can see the players put on their masks to protect themselves from the virus, and then they're set to go.
So that makes me wonder, what are the chances of our agent becoming infected as well? In the Uplay Party stream, they showed the Dark Zone trailer, which is also on my channel, where they mentioned that not only did the military leave behind their best weapons and gear inside, but also any hope for a cure. So it would make sense that it's possible to become infected and then you have to go find the antidote. What do you think about this? I mean, you have to have a gas mask that's upgradable, so wouldn't it make sense that if you went into an extremely contaminated place or your gas mask broke inside the dark zone, then you could become contaminated yourself? I mean, this would force you to prepare yourself before you went to explore, and you would have to make sure that everything was in top-notch shape before you jumped into this. That is, if there is equipment degradation. Next up, we have the encounter with the latest faction to be revealed, known as the Rikers. Rikers are escaped prisoners from Rikers Island that have made their home on the streets of New York, doing anything they please. The cool thing about this encounter is we see our first indication of stealth coming into play. Notice that when the player peeks out of cover, there's an exclamation bar above one of the Rikers that starts to fill in, indicating he's becoming aware of the player's presence. The developers did say that there is a cone of vision for enemies, so sneaking will be a useful tactic. Hopefully using silencers on weapons helps keep you hidden, and we can really take that tactical approach to situations like these. Especially since there's also going to be an aggro system. You could have someone with a machine gun on the left side shooting at these guys, drawing all of their attention to them, while you have someone on the right side just sneaking around back behind them, and then they throw out a couple of bombs or throw out some C4, and then all of a sudden all the enemies are dead because you blew them up. They didn't know you were there because the other guy was drawing all of their attention. Scenarios like that would be awesome. When the player uses a pulse scan, we get some more information on these guys. Each enemy type functions differently. Once the firefight starts, a bunch of things start happening at once. So let's break it down one thing at a time. The first thing that happens when the agents start shooting is all of the Rikers have flashing exclamation points above their heads. Like I mentioned earlier, this shows that they are alerted to your presence now. You can see the damage being done to the sniper popping up on the screen, as well as the critical hit, which does 3,192 damage. These numbers I can almost guarantee are going to change. 3,192 damage to one enemy, it seems ridiculous. I don't know if they're going to be this high. I don't know if they're how much lower they're going to be. Just from my opinion, I think that's way up there. He also gains 123 XP from killing these enemies, which is also displayed in the top right corner by his progression bar, moving up a little towards the next level. I like the fact that it shows the damage as well as the XP gained. The more stat information I have, the better. While in cover behind this ambulance, this is where we get a first glimpse of a suppression system in the game. It appears that when you fire at an enemy while they are in cover or near cover, it will suppress them and keep them pinned down for a short period of time. If this is the case, then the team play capabilities just got even better. When Bronson moves up, you'll see him get hit a few times and seriously damaging him. Ryan Bernard mentions in this video that you want to stay undercover because the enemies will do a ton of damage to you.
Trying to make sure that you're not exposed at any time, because when you're out of cover, you take a lot of damage from enemies.
Right here, when the player goes into cover, you'll see his health start to regenerate, but it's very slow. If it stays this way when the game comes out, that means you will need to be extremely careful about being open to enemy fire and getting hit, because if you don't have any med packs or healing abilities, you're gonna die really fast, especially since you can't regenerate health all the way. Once it passes one of these 3 health bar sections, it's gone, or you use a med pack. It's like losing your shield in Destiny and not getting it back until you die. But in the case of the Division, you can still use healing abilities or med packs to regenerate it all the way. Once the Rikers are eliminated, the player ranks up, and with that, gained 2 points to each special stat your character will have. These stats play into what role you will choose: DPS, tank, or healer. When you are killed in the Division, you don't die instantly. You go into what's called the down state, where you can crawl around and basically try to get back to your squad members so they can revive you. It's kind of like in The Last of Us, when you would be downed by an enemy and you could basically crawl back to your guys and get revived by your guys, but a lot of times you would have the enemies come up and murder you while you were down on your hands and knees. And like The Last of Us, you can be killed in this stage in the Division. So instead of being half dead, you will be all dead. Right here, we get confirmation that the M16 light machine gun is confirmed for the Division. So if you like heavy machine guns, you just got your best wish granted. When these guys take on the cleaners, if you watch the cleaners on the right, you'll see that the players shoot the gas canister on his back and blow him up. This will make for good strategizing when there are a lot of these guys close to each other like this. You could either get a sniper rifle and then pick them all off by blowing up their packs, or you could throw bombs on them. I mean, there's a ton of different situations that this could go in, and I can't wait to play around with it and see what happens. These cleaners are also elites, which is indicated by the magenta colored health bars and their body armor. Is it magenta, or is it pink, or is it purple? I like the fact that you can see the blast radius of explosive abilities, like you see here with the sticky bomb. The reason I say abilities instead of just explosives is because when a grenadier cleaner throws a grenade, you don't see the blast radius bubble, but you definitely see him catch on fire once it explodes. And with that, there will be different elemental damages in the Division, such as fire, electricity, and gas. You can see how long they will affect you as well by looking at the notification above your head. Once things calm down and the rest of the cleaners are taken out, a bunch of rewards pop up, giving us an example of the different XP bonuses we will get from performing in the game. Things like headshots and multi-kills are going to help you level up a lot faster. There's also a perfect example of how much attention activating an extraction can draw to yourself in this video. And also, even if another player extracts, you can see how much time they have to finish it, so you can choose to go in and help them, or you can choose to go in and kill them. Here's where things get a little bit confusing and I'm not entirely sure about. The numbers by the Rogue Agent Skull marker. What is this? Is this the Dark Zone rank? And are these little bars around the skull the wanted status of the agent after he kills other agents, similar to a star rating in Grand Theft Auto and Watch Dogs, things like that? The one thing I do know, there is a timer until you are not rogue anymore. I need to correct the info I gave in some of my other videos. I thought that you were rogue until you died, but that is not the case. You are rogue for a limited time, and the more agents you kill, the more time is added to your non-rogue status clock, basically. And the time can go up to 5 minutes, and you have to wait for it to run out before you are no longer marked as a rogue agent. The next point of interest is your backpack. We know that your character will have a Dark Zone loot capacity, and these numbers seem to be related to that capacity. If you look with this particular pack, it seems you can extract 6 items at a time, with a max inventory of 38 items. So if that's the case, when you have a max inventory, you'll have to extract several times to get everything out. Now the icon above this is one I can't seem to figure out for sure, but it does seem to be some sort of currency, maybe used to purchase items in the Dark Zone from the vendors, or it could just be contaminated money that you find and have to extract as well. Your guess is probably as good as mine, and I'd like to know what you think about this, so definitely hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think about this. There are a lot of things in this video that give us little glimpses into what this game is going to be like on launch day. What we see here is a ton of fun to play. I know because I've played it, and I also know that I will be spending a ton of time in the Dark Zone, grabbing loot and trying to earn some people's trust while destroying others. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you see fit, sub for more info on the Division, and until next time, this is Boomslang, signing off.